There's this guy who dedicated that song of "She's a runner, she's a track star to me." Could be on our wedding day.
Okay, that's all that time.
It
It was so hard.
She knows best. It's not therapy, but it
But it
might
might
help. So welcome back, guys. We're still with Ashley, MaryAsh. And that tea is, man, it's flowing. The conversation is flowing.
In the last episode, we failed to cover what we were supposed to cover. This time we're going to be a bit more disciplined and try. We might still go off tangent, but like which is fine.
Yeah.
We'll still because I think the conversation that we're supposed to have is a very important conversation.
Yeah.
So try and
keep it there.
Like keep it in.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So before we lose that, before we go off on a tangent, I think what we should do is MaryAsh should tell us like the story like she shared on her channel. We'll put a link so that you can go and check it out on her channel. But I think like a summary of her story about why she chose a child-free lifestyle, what that entails, why she chose the method of like contraception that she chose, and all the stuff around it, and then we'll of course go for our tangents.
Okay. So again, my name is Ainom Shamari Ashley, and I'm a child-free woman by choice. The reason why I decided, or my story basically, is I think like every other girl, I always thought about kids. I was kind of taught to want my own kids and live life through children. Actually, I think there's always that thing of like you'll do something different with your kids. And I think I used to want twins, actually. And identical twins. I just want to see the point of twins if they're fraternal.
Yeah.
Be identical or don't come. Like,
it's really childish of you. Like,
it's like, don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. That's why I want to do this.
They need to look alike.
So I wanted like this cute, chummy, twins and everything. And I envisioned my life with Prince Charming. I'm a lover girl. So I envisioned my life.
Feminists always are.
We were just talking about that when we were on the phone.
Real love. We're not doing love for performance.
I was telling her that you guys keep dissing me and saying the problem is you like love.
I like exactly.
love so much.
So I am a lover girl, so I always imagined myself with my Prince Charming, with our 2 baby twins, and with a beautiful life, of course, right? And then as I started to deconstruct, I became a feminist maybe in my A-levels. And of course, I went through the stages. I didn't start from here. I started from there. Course, I moved through the motions as everyone does. And I started to ask myself certain questions. And then I asked myself, do I want children because everyone says I want kids? Or I want kids because it's something that I desire for myself? And to interrogate that is to reach a point where you understand what motherhood is. So I now could see certain things for what they were. I always had seen motherhood in a certain way, but I had seen it through the lens of the patriarchy. I hadn't seen it through a deconstructed lens. And I started to question a lot of things, and I started to see a lot of things. And then because I'm a firstborn, I've been around older women all my life. I actually resonate a lot with older women. There's no time I've ever been with older women since I was a kid and they didn't feel comfortable with me. I've always kind of been that way. So I listen to them a lot. I take learning very seriously. I don't think I'm above the program when it comes to the program of life. I don't think I'm smarter than. I don't think I know.
There's always something new
there's
to
always
learn.
something to take a lot of the times. So I listened to a lot of these people. And now when I deconstructed, I started to see things through a different lens. And I realized that motherhood, as much as it can be such a beautiful experience, it is not that for a lot of women. A lot of women have experienced very trying times because of motherhood. A lot of women's light has been dimmed because of motherhood. And also, childhood, like having a child, is quite permanent.
Bruh.
It is like you don't opt out. You do, yes, exactly. That's a very important part to say for a mother, because that's why I don't say parenthood, because that's very different. Motherhood. For moms, a lot of us, it is quite a permanent experience.
Yeah.
And permanent in a suffocating way, you know? For me, I grew up in a family where my mom is an only child. She does not have siblings necessarily, or siblings that she's like close to. She's an only child. I didn't grow up in those families where people say, oh, now they took us to our auntie.
Yeah.
And then now we spent the whole Christmas with our grandmother. And she sent us there for like 2 months. And all of that stuff. Like, for the most part, either my grandmother would be with us or she'd be in the village. So I saw what it was like for somebody to be on motherhood 24/7.
Yeah.
You can't switch off.
There's no switching off point. There's no nothing. I saw what lack of support is like for a lot of women in my life. I would see aunties, I would see uncles, and the way that they would treat their wives. I would listen to stories. I would read. I'm a reader. I used to, when people were in kindergarten sleeping me, I was reading books in the principal's office. I don't even jest. I'm not jesting. It's the truth. I used to do that. If you were in Happy Tots, if the principal still remembers me, she knows that I used to come to her room and be like, can I read some books? So I've always been like a reader. And fiction, people dump on fiction. Fiction teaches you so
much.
I didn't read Ways to Get Rich.
Yeah.
I read books of fiction. Fiction teaches you how to imagine. Fiction teaches you how to put yourself in a position.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm in a new world, you know, and I'm this woman, I'm Jen in this story, and she's walking me through how this means that. So I read a lot of books about women and their lives and their stories. And even when I joined social media, I am a very woman-oriented person. I listen to women. I started to come to the realization that actually I don't want to be tied to a child. Not just because it's so permanent, but also because of the other person on the other end of that childhood.
Like your permanent, like now it's a permanent fixture.
Which is not just the child, but the other person I signed them with.
Yeah.
You know, having that other person makes things very, very complicated. Even if they might not be in that child's life, by the way. That child, I tell you, you who is the single mom, your child will always look like that father who left.
Bruh.
Like, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's
also like an identity thing for kids.
Yes.
Because they know that children, ordinary, the traditional way, belong to a man and a woman. So whether the other one is not, whether you're happy with the other one not being in
the life is irrelevant. And also, to children, that's really irrelevant. As a child, I'm just asking you, is my dad?
Yeah, like, but 100% irrelevant.
Like, when I hear people say things like, give birth because you want, I think that's very not as, like, thought out. Why I say that? Not because don't give birth if you want to, because there are women who really desire children. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, think of your child as well. The children are the ones that you're bringing here.
Yeah.
So think about them and what that might feel like for them to know that their parent didn't want them.
Yeah. The
You get what I'm saying?
experience.
Yeah.
Because that affects children. And people like to act like, for me, my mom gave us everything. She, especially when we were much younger, I used to think we were loaded.
Yeah.
Because
You're
of the way
like,
she
we're
treated us,
bowling. Yeah.
I thought we were,
Yeah.
of course, till I went to actual school and I was like, oh, you guys have a pool?
You're like, ooh,
That's crazy. I didn't know that. But like when I was younger, I
You
always
didn't
thought we
laugh.
were, like, the things we would eat, the things we would do.
Yeah.
And I think she was healing herself through us, kind of. She really, really raised us to enjoy it. Like me and my mom after school would go to ShopRite. ShopRite used to be the thing at the time. And like we'd sit at that coffee place. Now where CJ's is at Lugogo Mall.
Cafe pub. Good African.
Yes, it was good African,
Good
yes.
African,
Used to
yeah.
go and say, have some tea. She'd ask me about the boys I have a crush on.
Cool. That is
Like,
so
she was
cute.
trying to do different. She really was.
Yeah.
We would have a grand old time, honey. Like, we were having a time. Yeah, I thought we were loaded. So I was raised very differently, you know? And then reality sets in, unfortunately. And then I realized that even the ability for a mother to be a great mother is heavily dependent on the life that she's leading. So a lot of mothers, people don't always start off as wanting to be bad parents. I don't believe that.
There's no one. Yeah.
No one.
I don't think that. Of course, there are some who are, where I can be hearing them as they're saying certain things,
Yeah,
but
like,
I don't think people always want to be bad.
No.
And that goes even across the guys.
Yeah, to be honest.
I don't think it's always about that.
Yeah.
No. I think it's about
We always have the best intentions at the
Yes,
beginning. You always say, I want to
yes.
be this kind of
so
parent.
many parents, by the way, even by that definition, they technically were better than
Yeah.
their parents, but they still were terrible parents.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
two truths can be true
Yeah,
at the same
yeah,
time.
true.
So when because we don't have a confrontational nature of self in our societies, we don't teach people to get into positions of authority to be better people. We teach people to get into positions of authority to evade accountability and responsibility. And
Say it louder for the ones in the back.
yes, every little thing, by the way, you're taught as a child is just get into a better position.
Yeah.
When I would complain about something, I said, when you get your own house,
You can do what
you
you
can
want.
do what you want. When you're in a position of in office, when you become the boss,
You can do
what you want.
Yeah.
So we're taught authority is to evade accountability,
accountability. Yeah.
and responsibility,
Yeah.
not to actually be a better
The
person.
Yeah.
This is going to shake a few feathers, but I think that is modeled after religion, in my opinion.
True.
God is not held accountable for anything.
Anything. Yeah.
God is all-knowing. He's all-seeing.
All-seeing,
He
all
gave to
being,
us.
everything,
Yes.
the
And I
Alpha
should
and
be
the
grateful
Omega.
that he gave to me, even if I kind of never asked.
Mm.
But I should be grateful that he still gave to me. So
Both the good and the bad.
yes,
You
both the
just
good
say,
and the bad and the ugly. It is
Yeah.
it is with me to deal with, but
You
also
don't
I should be
question
grateful.
God's
You should be
plans.
grateful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You don't question. Our biggest authority, especially when you're a religious person, is God.
And
Who
that
do we
if you're
model
emulating, after.
after.
God. It is why our leaders don't think they owe us anything. It's why we
Yeah.
are suffering in African countries. Our leaders think they're doing us a favor.
That's why they
100%.
really equate themselves.
Yeah.
To
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The other day Trump claiming to be Jesus
To be
Christ.
Jesus.
Thank you.
And that
And
is
by
how
the
they
way,
move.
it is quite a subconscious thing. People don't realize that everything we consume is ingrained in us. You might not consciously be using your programming, but it is very much still happening.
Like, that's the
to
thing
you.
for me. That's why for me, you'll never convince me of choice.
And
like,
thank
yeah.
you. Like choice is within always a vacuum.
It's
Yeah.
a vacuum, and like unless you
It doesn't
critically,
factor into it. Doesn't
Yeah.
exist out. Yeah.
And
Choice is very limited.
Choice is always about what is available to you.
Yeah.
So if you created what was available to you, then maybe it would be really a choice. But we don't create
don't
what's
create
available to
what-
us. We
yeah.
just do what best with the cards that we're dealt with.
Yeah.
You know? So because of that, parents see themselves as divine authorities. But mothers especially are taught to us to be divine authorities. And as much as what motherhood brings is a beautiful thing, it is an amazing thing, it is not a divine process. If today I gave birth, I would never be your equal. You and I would not be in the same conversation. I'd be like you've lived a life. You know, there's certain things that you know that I don't know.
Yeah.
Motherhood would not suddenly make me your equal.
Yeah.
Just mean I busted down.
yeah,
This guy got me
and
pregnant.
this going,
That's a simple.
someone
it's like
nurtured in
shitting.
you, and it happens.
Yeah.
It is a process. It's a
process.
biological
It's a
process.
biological. Yeah.
And when I
process.
say that people get offended, it's
It
not.
is.
I'm trying to
It's
make
not.
it
There is
clear
nothing like
that as much as it is a painful experience and as much as it's a trying and selfless experience and also a selfish experience at the same time,
Yeah.
true.
it is not divine. It is quite actually common.
Happens
Every other day,
Everyone belongs to a mother.
Yes,
Bruh.
literally every other
Every-
day, somebody's giving birth.
someone.
It's quite common. in
Actually,
fact.
every few
You're
minutes,
not-
every there's a statistic somewhere. I'm sure
Yeah.
we can find it. Every minute,
Yes,
there's
every minute there's
some
somebody
number of people are being
giving
born.
birth.
Yeah.
I'm breaking it down this way so that people can kind of understand what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. Motherhood, if we come at places from a lack of authority, now I'm talking about parenthood now in general. When we come at authority from a place of it is unquestionable, it is divine, it is holy, it is without fault, and it is infallible, we are creating monsters.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing about motherhood or fatherhood that removes you from being a human being.
Yeah.
And because we are not fallible, because we are not questionable, because we are not accountable, we become the very monsters that we
Where
came
we
from.
came from. Yeah.
Because it starts from, like we had talked about, irrationalization. It comes from rationalizing the things that we do. So I've always said, one of the reasons why I feel like I don't think I should be a parent is because I think I might traumatize my kids, because I have so much trauma that I work through every single day. But I exist in a vacuum where I don't need to be triggered. I'm not being triggered. I don't
Yeah.
have some kid every day saying,
Yeah.
I'm not being triggered. But I will be triggered.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
One day I will be triggered. And I love to preach about patience in terms of being with a child. But everything is easier said than
You,
done.
you get like
Yeah.
you might.
It is
yeah,
not
yeah.
something I really experience that much.
Yeah.
So it is at the first time you make a mistake and you rush with your child or you shout at your child, why you are not the one in right, instead of what a lot of people should be doing, which is you sit down with yourself and say,
and reflect.
But why
But
did
why
I
did I
shout
shout?
at the
Yeah.
child?
I shouted because of my own projections. I'm projecting my own fears onto my what?
My
child.
Or I was right in what I was talking about, but I did have to bring that point
yeah.
across in that way.
Yeah.
And then I come back to Abigail after and I say,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
You should not be leaving your door unlocked. However, I did have to speak to you that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
That was me projecting
Exactly,
my
yeah.
irritation onto you.
Yeah.
Kindly forgive me.
Yeah.
Do you know
Most parents don't have the capacity.
that they don't only have the capacity, they don't have the humility. Because you're
Because
not taught
their
to be in authority
yeah, to
with
be
humility.
with humility.
Yeah.
You're taught to be in authority to evade humility and accountability.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
me being bigger or the boss of everything
Yes.
allows me to do things without consequences.
Yeah.
Without
Yes.
Yeah.
apologizing.
Yes.
Like arbitrary.
It's already not
yeah.
even in the
Yeah.
she's doing what the system is doing. The
Yeah.
system requires you not to question.
Yeah.
So what it ends up doing, however, you know what you did is wrong. Technically, there'll be a part of you that first sparks up something. You feel a little chest pain. You might say,
Yeah, but don't you see like even like I mean it was a trend on TikTok where they're like African moms, like when your African mom is apologizing, they never say it out loud. She'll be like, "Have you eaten?"
Yeah.
Do you know,
Yes.
like that's that kind of
or
thing
in my
saying like
experience, they'll say, if I wronged you, sweetheart, you did.
you
You
did,
did.
and you know you did.
And you know you
Yeah.
did.
So that's
Don't
the
tell
thing.
me so
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
ifs.
Like for me, from my experience, and I 100% agree with you, because for
Yeah.
me, like my experience of motherhood, I'm not saying I've been the perfect mom. In
Yeah.
fact, Abigail, if I said I was perfect, she would have looked at me. Like,
She said,
but there are things that I said I would, and also because I learned from my mom, as my mom got older, because even her, she had to sit down with herself
Yes,
and change her
evaluate.
and change her how she parented.
Yeah.
Because my mom is the kind of person, she says sorry.
Yes.
Like we have conversations. She's the one I grew up with, Bisapa too.
Yeah.
Is no longer
It's no
exists.
longer
Yeah.
there.
You
But
did.
she was there.
But she was there. So she had to shift her
Mentality.
or
Yes.
her parenting
Yes,
style.
yes, yes.
And that happened as we got older.
Yeah.
But so now for me with my daughter, and I'm not saying I'm a perfect parent,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
had to also teach myself those things or
Yes.
emulate some of the good things from my mom. Because I will
Yes.
tell Abigail, I'm sorry. I will snap at her,
Yeah.
but then in a few hours later, I'll be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry I didn't put your feelings into consideration.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the relationship I want to build. Because
Yes.
from when she was a kid, my mom always told me, that's why I keep saying grandparents and their grandchildren. Different story.
Very
She-
different.
it's
The
a very
grandparent
different
and
story.
the parent
The
are two
parent,
different
very
people.
different story. And she always told me, you have to treat your child like she's a human being just
Yes,
like you.
yes.
So even though she is your child, first and foremost, she's a human being.
Before she's
So
even
her-
a human being, she's new here, unlike you.
Unlike you.
Yeah.
So
she
the
just
same
sits
way
here.
you want to treat you, the same way you will treat another human, just a human being, is the
Yeah.
same way you
Yeah.
should treat her. So
Yeah.
even as she has feelings, you should say sorry,
She gets
please,
overwhelmed
thank you.
too.
She also gets overwhelmed.
Yeah.
You have to ask her, are you comfortable with this? Are you not comfortable with this? Could you please help me? You know, for us growing up, and I tease her all the time when I send her to do something. Because I will send her and she says, Mommy, I'm tired. And I'm just like,
But she
there's no way I could say that to my mom.
You could never say
How?
that. Yeah.
How do
yeah,
you say
yeah.
that?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and she says, I'm tired, I don't want. Then I'm like, it's okay.
And I also think a lot of it has to do with, again, we were just talking about this earlier. A lot of people are emotionally dysregulated, and parents are very emotionally dysregulated. They deal with their emotions by projecting them onto their children. It's a very common experience.
Because
And
they are
so-
weak and vulnerable, so they are the easiest targets.
Of course, actually, those are the people you have power over. At
Yeah.
work, you might not have power, but you have power over children. You always have power over your children
Yeah.
for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is authority becomes a place of abuse.
Yeah.
Because there's no humility. There's even no, again, like the system isn't even designed to do that. You know, for systems to create something, it has to be designed to bring that out.
Yeah.
So you see how, like in the States, no one's saying in the States people are perfect parents or anything like that. But for example, if your child overdoses on some pills or something, child services will be
It's
at
coming
your
for
door.
At
Yeah.
you, and you're the problem.
Yes.
It's you.
Like,
Yeah.
like there are actual certain
There's
things in place.
consequences.
Yeah.
So whether you understand it or not, there'll be consequences.
Yeah.
That's what I always say. Systems are better than how people feel.
Yeah.
Because we all feel differently at all times.
Yeah.
But there should be consequences for it.
Consequences
There
for,
should
right.
be and something to evoke.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We have no
For you to like
consequences for bad
even
parenting.
double like like double check on like if you're going to act out of a certain feeling,
Yes.
you have to like catch yourself and be like, there's a consequence
Yes.
to acting
this way.
or this way,
Yeah.
or to acting
Yeah.
on this feeling,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like emoting this emotion in
And
this
there's
way.
absolutely no consequence for parents. 1, 2, there's absolutely no incentive for them to be better.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is the first time you do something, maybe you might try to apologize. Maybe in your way, you might try, because this is not something you know. You know, the brain knows what it knows. People think you consume so much knowledge, you say so much.
Yeah.
When it comes down to practicality, things are very different.
Yeah.
If you've never seen people apologize in your life, it's even difficult to have the words to be able to apologize in your life, right?
Yeah.
But let's say you're trying. The first time maybe you hit your child, you feel a little bit bad, you go and give them some cake. You didn't say sorry necessarily, but you say, oh, Jen, have some cake and this and that. The third time, if you have not interrogated yourself, instead of now saying, oh, I've become exactly what I resented, you will rationalize it. You say, this is what my parents were talking about when they said, you understand when you what?
When you're older.
What that statement, by the way, means, that statement used to scare me a lot because I used to be creeped out that one day I might find the things that parents do okay. Because I would see things that they do and I'd feel appalled. I'm like, you are disgusting for doing something like that to your child. And I would think to myself, what part of my brain cell would have died for me to ever think this is okay? There's nothing that changes about things being wrong. People rationalize things because there's a community that will accept you. Bad parents are accepted every day. All of them laugh at how they do all the bad things that they've done to us. By the way, let's be honest. They're accepted. When I went no contact with a parent of mine once for a year plus, I got messages bombarding me to reach out. Me,
you the child.
Suddenly, I'm the one to be the bigger person. I'm not even the bigger person by age.
So
explain this thing to me.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. And I am the wronged.
But somehow I have to be the bigger person.
And by the way,
that's because now the thing is, parents now they are stepping out of the parenting role because it is the job as the parent, and I always say that, to reach out to that child.
Children.
So now you're expecting your child to parent you, to reach out to you, the parent, and say, hey,
can we talk?
That's not the job of the child.
Let me tell you, I am not a parent.
You gave back
I,
to
however,
me. I did not.
Last I checked, I have said no one.
But I think that's what she's saying about it's not like it's very rarely about parenting, but more about authority and power.
Yeah.
So
I am a
parent, so it gives me the power and the control. Like, how dare I come down and stoop low to come and apologize
to you.
To
And by the time they realize that this is so bad, it's so far gone.
It's late.
You have created lies after lies after lies after lies after lies after lies that your brain has rationalized. It's even hard to. That's why I'm always telling people, the way to move from your parents is not to try and get to them. You'll never, chances that they'll never get it. They'll never get through. Some do, but it has to come from a place of they have gotten on that journey. I promise you, you're not going to put them on that journey. If somebody's not seeking something,
they will never find it.
And I need people to know that you can only supplement if they ever get on that journey. So, but you have to live life for you. And people struggle to do that because we are taught that you cannot leave your parent behind. Let me tell you something. I will leave you behind like mad. Don't play with me.
I remember one of my therapists.
I will leave you behind like mad. You will never hear from me. Because if you're choosing, for me, I take it this way. If you choose your ego over me, then there's nothing to discuss. Because you've chosen your ego over me. You're my parent. You get back to me. You labored with me. And then you choose your ego over doing the right thing. Oh, say less, sister.
It's cool.
It's cool. Me, I take the principle over everything.
Yeah.
People like to glamorize so much words. No, it's the principle. Because if I wronged you, I would never choose my ego over making this right. I love you. But love is not to be disrespected. And you will never confuse it with that. And for me, I make that clear to everyone that I know in my life. I don't care if I've known you 20 years or 5 years. Do not disrespect me.
Love is not to be disrespected, but also it doesn't mean that you always have to be the one to sacrifice and compromise. Why? But again, it always comes back to the authority, the power.
Always.
One of my therapists once told me, because I was also having an issue with one of my parents. Actually, at the time, it was both my parents. And my therapist told me, Dr. Elizabeth, she was like, you see, Liz, how old are you? I think at the time I was like 29 or 30. And she said, how old are your parents? And she said, you see, they've lived their entire life. Like, they've lived their entire life. They had the opportunity they've had the opportunity of all these years to be your parents, to learn, to learn all these things.
They have not.
And now, when they're in the sunset of their life, are they going to learn now?
Is now, is it
now
now
the
that
time?
you
Is
expect
it
them
practical? Do you even see that happening?
Do you see it happening?
Thank you.
So how
As
do
she said,
mhm.
you need to learn to live your life.
Yes, you
No,
need to
to
detach
not
from
feel-
And
that.
to decenter your parents.
Yes, I had to decenter my parents. I had to decenter them a while ago because let me tell you, when you operate from that place,
Yeah.
nothing will ever be enough. Nothing
Yeah.
will ever be enough. And I think maybe what I was blessed with was I have a strong sense of self.
Yeah.
I've never really operated from a place of anybody else.
Yeah.
I've kind of always been, Ashley, are we good with this? Okay,
Okay,
everyone
cool.
else will be fine.
Yeah.
And not from a
great.
place
That's
of just
really, really
selfishness.
yeah.
such an amazing
Like I always
Yeah.
ask myself, as long as I'm not hurting people, and this is something to do with me.
Exactly.
Like when this whole tubal ligation conversation came up, there's no one who was even ever a part of the program. Like I hope everyone knows, there's no one who was ever like a consideration.
But that's
Because
because
it shouldn't be.
Yes, it shouldn't be because
Like I
it's
don't
your
care.
choice.
I don't care. This
okay?
is my
It's your
body.
Yeah,
body.
it's your body. It's
Kumkum
your
Sara, will you guys say that? Like this so serious.
yeah, like, exactly. Like there is no
one was
world
even
where
a
you
factor ever.
Yeah.
There's no time I thought, oh, but if I tell Jen,
why?
Unless Jen exists in here.
you get.
it has nothing to do
Unless
with Jen.
you're sharing
John.
those cubes
Nothing.
with
Thank you.
Jen,
It has nothing to do with
cubes
that.
and
This
room
is
with
my
Jen.
life.
Yeah.
You're like
I always just ask myself, because even when I was younger, you know, like when teenagers go through like a rebellion
Yeah.
phase, and there are times when I would get really sad. I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to think about classes and everything. Then I would immediately remind myself, Ashley, if I fail, when I fail, does that go in anyone's grade slip who I'm trying to get back at, or does it go in mine?
Yeah.
God forbid I punish
get-
myself
Yeah.
for what somebody else has done to me.
yeah.
I would go back to class. This grades will these grades will thrive. Anything that has to do with punishing me, I would ask
Yeah,
myself,
yeah.
is this
Why?
how I
Punishing
punish me?
myself. Yeah.
When I go through a breakup, well, babes don't eat. They don't sleep. They don't
Kayla said,
breathe. Let me tell you something. When I'm going through a breakup, that's when I look my hottest.
bruh.
Not because I'm not dying inside. I'm not dying inside. I'm a human being. I'm not trying
yeah.
to preach
Feeling.
something that is not
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
I'm a human being. I am sad.
Yeah.
I go. I think about it. I
Yeah,
say to myself, oh my
yeah.
god. Then
But
we
you
kiss. And then you promised me the world.
like
He lied.
oh my you're never that you
We're
get
like
you're now
we used to do initials together. Like Kim here. Oh, even had that Jazzy and everything. It is heartbreaking.
it's hard,
Yeah.
but like you're not going to
But I'm a bad
Thing is that-
bitch.
You get-
Unfortunately.
You're like, why must I punish
it is
myself?
not me who you will talk about and you say, oh, look at her. She's
Yeah.
even
lost that, yeah.
over my dead body. I could go and cry after, but I will look hot.
Yeah.
For me, something has to further my greater good.
yeah, it has to always like you have it
I always
always
tell
has
my
to be
friends,
you.
don't let a man be the end of you. He doesn't even deserve to be the end of you.
For him, he doesn't think about. He's not losing sleep over you.
Guys. Anyway,
He does not deserve to be at the end of you. So, like for me, all these choices, coming back to the topic, tubal ligation, these are things that only affect me.
yeah.
They have nothing to do with any other person. In fact, we were laughing about this the other day on Snapchat. All of this is happening because one girl in Uganda said, me, I don't want to have children. Do you know how many women are having children by the hour?
You get and that's my thing exactly.
How many
It's
women
like
are having children?
So many
As
people
a
want
family?
the met your quota for you already.
you go to the ones who want to have children. Like,
Can you
it's
touch
like-
some grass?
Like, yeah, like also
Truly.
like, how sad is your life that like you're now all up in arms because one girl.
Because
One girl.
First of all, a girl that most of you had never even seen before she decided
Thank
to
you.
make this decision.
You didn't care
She's
before
new to
whether
you,
you
like,
didn't
you
care
didn't
whether
care
she
about her.
When I
whether
promise each and every one of them,
You
and
get a child, you're like you get like you get like maybe there's someone you promised eggs and
then
like,
there's
now
also
you-
this foolish comment: "You're too beautiful not to have a kid and whatnot." One, beauty
you-
does not feed children. Two, I think you guys are forgetting we're dilly-dallying with men. Haven't you ever seen a beautiful woman with an ugly kid? What if mine comes out and they don't look the way that you guys are saying I should
that,
do?
that men
That's so
how many times I've had
shallow.
that?
Yeah?
That's
You know how
so
many times I've had that?
shallow.
That's a
Like,
beautiful
oh,
woman.
Yeah, like oh no, also like you have to have kids. Like oh my god, like your beauty.
You're
is going to go to
beautiful.
waste. I'm
Oh,
like,
please.
The beauty was made for me.
and then first of all,
For
you're
me to
going
enjoy.
to procreate with someone whose sister looks like a public.
Leave alone even that. Leave alone even that. You know, after you procreate with that man, he will drain you of all
And
your
then
all your beauty. All your beauty.
I was looking at this picture. You guys have watched, you know, like the trifecta women in Black Hollywood, like the Taraji P. Henson and all this stuff, right? There was this,
Sanaa
yes,
Lathan, all
those
those
guys,
guys,
right?
yeah.
The ones who acted in like that. I think that favorite thing, the Christmas holiday, the favorite holiday, something.
Best man.
Best man
Best
holiday,
Man
yes, yes.
Holiday.
Some of the ladies there, and the ones who usually we tend to see on our screens.
Yeah.
The ones who were child free, guys.
They don't age. They don't age.
Excuse me.
They look So like, it's an unlettered. She was thinking Kiki Palmer's podcast the
other day. Yeah.
Wow.
Bruh, that chick looks so fat.
Oh, the ones who did the girly thing where they have one kid.
Like Taraji has said her entire career.
Yeah.
I will never claim a man.
I can't, like,
I
oh my
will
God.
never, even like her dating common. We found out after they had broken up.
Let me tell
she's
you.
like, guys, unless I'm married to you, it will
Even
never
then-
big eyes.
Let
Let me tell you.
even then we'll see.
I'm telling
We'll
you,
see
you
about
can
it.
Never, you can never control the narrative of embarrassment.
But
from men.
you can't. But also the thing is, I think even like with kids is like, we're forced to consider children or like not to think it because of this imaginary thing that we have of this imaginary being that we have to make happy.
Yes.
The man.
The
Like,
man
oh
who
my
I
God,
don't
what
know.
if you get a man? Like, what if you get a man and he wants kids? Okay, then that's not the man for me.
Yes,
Yeah.
like, I don't know why that's so hard to
Like,
conceptualize.
you get like,
Yeah.
like why? Like, first of all, why am I planning my life
Around the needs of the needs of an imaginary man.
who is going to come in the future?
But
You don't know what he looks like. You
I
don't
also
know.
think a lot of women, the goal in the brain is still marriage. For some of us, let me tell you, me first of all, I have some thoughts about marriage. One, marriage is a patriarchal institution. That's not
course.
even a thought. That's a
100%
fact.
it's a fact.
Two, I feel like low-key marriage, sometimes I want it in terms of, me the way I desire marriage, let me explain to you guys. The way I desire marriage, I desire to be engaged. I want a cute, like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I'm a fiance.
I'm a fiance.
Oh my God.
And then I want to
That's
wear a
it.
white dress and stunt on you hoes. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. I don't want any paper. I don't want to lie to you.
My sister, I
That's what I keep saying.
I don't want any paper.
She wants to go, like, after the wedding night, can she come back home?
Like, actually, me, I've said, can we have a wedding, but we don't sign documents.
Like, after
I've said this
I
because
swear.
this is my money.
I swear.
Like,
you
so
wear
at
the
the end of
dress,
the
the party, the everything, and then you go back to
I'm
your
gonna go
mother.
back.
I would in my whole deconstructing. I sat down with myself and said, why do I want marriage? Okay,
do I
outside,
really want
outside
that?
of everything that we've been
Yeah.
told.
Yeah.
Guys, I want a party.
Thank you. Me, I just want a party. I
I
don't
just
like
want
anyone.
I want the grandest party of my life in a nice wedding, in a nice cute white dress.
Oh my God.
Because when I
Sorry.
when I think
Only
about
time women
when I
actually
think
get, like,
when I think about
grand old
when I
parties
think
like
about
that.
even me when I think about the kind of marriage that I want.
Yeah.
You
It's
guys,
not
I like
the
the idea of
patriarchal
freedom.
thing,
Yeah.
I like the idea of freedom. I like that option, and I think it's because of what the things that have been modeled around me. I like the
Yeah.
option of I have a partner. We come together when we need to. When we need to be with each other, we spend time together, etc. But I know myself. I get tired of people quickly.
Yes,
I can't imagine myself 365 days of the year in the same house with this man.
No, first of all, they tend to become annoying and everything like that. Like, I just don't think that that's something that I necessarily want to do.
So,
And
yeah.
I actually always tell my friends, I feel like I'm going to be those babes who, like, maybe I have like 3 proposals under my belt. Because
Yeah.
I leave men. Me, I leave.
quickly. With
Nothing about me.
With the
I'll
quickness,
leave a
yeah.
man. Yeah.
There's this guy who dedicated that song of "She's a runner, she's a track star" to me. Could be on our wedding day.
Okay, that's all that one was so hot.
Can't
was
was
like,
like,
yeah,
she's a
I
track
will
star.
leave
Let me tell you something. Nothing could ever be that serious. For me.
Yeah.
I always tell guys, it could be at the altar that I found out something.
And I will leave.
Because me, I don't fear fallout of people versus what I need.
Yeah.
That's the dangerous thing about me. Don't ever assume that I'll stay with you because there's this guy I was dating. I'm not saying this to mock you, sir, but it's the reality. This guy I was dating and I was at my wit's end. We had been dating for like some time, and like our families, like they knew each other and everything. His mom was so amazing to me and everything like that. I really, really did think that I might marry this guy until, of course, I got to know the guy.
He became
So,
a man.
one time, it's my birthday. Their family had, the last year they had been so gracious. They invited us out and we went out together. They paid for everything. Like, great, they loved me. So I assume they can love you as much as you know,
Yeah.
they can. So but they're always gracious to me. I always say that. So this year I have my birthday at home and I invite them over. Let's do some lunch. I invite the entire family and everything. Like, I'm very happy. But I remember the gifts he gave me. I had written a list of the things that I wanted, and he had an issue with, like I said, like delivering what I want.
Yeah.
And now I've even spelled it out for her and I said, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And so this is the one time now he chose to surprise me. Of course, they never execute
First
anything
tell
they're
me he
trying to
didn't
do.
put anything on the list.
First of all, the restaurant I asked to go to was not the restaurant he took me to. Right? And me, I'm a picky eater. So for me, that is very
that's
important
very
to me.
key, yeah.
And this restaurant, I wanted to eat at it for a very long time because we used to live in Nairobi. So like we had just moved back. I wanted to eat at this place. So like, this person ended up buying me heels for my birthday. Now, if you know me,
You don't wear heels.
don't wear heels. Like, I can't wear heels.
Like, where are you going to
Like,
get all this stuff from?
Like,
You have one job.
They gave you a list. Me, no, that's what I'll tell you. I can't
and like
read minds.
not even a
gave
crazy
you
What
a
is your
list.
list?
I said phone cases, some ear jewels.
Why?
Oh, but he did get me some cute hoops. He did. I still wear them to this day. He got me some cute hoops and everything like that. Very amazing. But like, I remember he got me heels, and I just thought, like, you don't know me. You don't
yeah.
listen to me.
That's
You
the
don't
thing,
see
you don't-
me.
Yeah.
You don't like this, and this has been a complaint for so long. It was just my last straw.
Yeah.
So what did I do? The next day after my birthday, I broke up with him, and I think everyone
He
was
must have
so
been
stunned because I just
Like,
had his
oh my
family
gosh,
over
yeah.
and
Yes,
everything,
yeah.
and it was nothing personal to them or to him.
Yeah.
It was just for me when I
you-
know it's time to leave.
it's time to leave.
So if I stayed 2 days extra, what
Yeah.
would that change?
Nothing,
Yeah.
you're still going
I
to
would
leave.
still be very angry. I was
Yeah.
very angry, very disappointed. It was my last straw. And so for me, I feel like I'm going to be those babes. Maybe I might have like 3 proposals if they even
I
dare
love that for
to
you.
gander with me like that. Because that never
love this
exempts you
phrase.
from
Even
me.
me,
I'm
leaving.
just like, yeah.
Like, it will never exempt
Yeah.
me from leaving you.
Yeah.
If you stop doing what you're supposed to do, and I think marriage creates complacency because it says it promises forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think
So
marriage.
you start
me,
to,
I
like,
don't agree with
rationalize.
that about marriage because it puts men who are already comfortable in a
But
comfortable
guys,
position.
every single other
position.
contract that we sign,
It's renewable.
It's renewable, and it
Thank
also
you.
has an
It's not
exit
close.
clause.
Yeah.
Thank you. But when I found out we're in marriage, why you have to explain why you're leaving? Why am I explaining to the government?
But
why
I
I'm
saw
leaving?
that thing
Why do you
from-
live with
from
that man?
Pumla's thingy that she did recently. That
Yes.
thing of 3 reasons.
Yes.
I was
Infidelity,
Eh.
cruelty.
cruelty and something. I said, excuse
Eh.
you.
Whatever.
Who am I giving reasons to? But anyway.
Why am I giving reasons to the
And
government?
abandonment.
The government that doesn't live with me? Why am I explaining to
Why
you?
is
You
the
guys?
government inside my home?
So then that's when I realized I don't think I really want that, but I want
Yeah.
a white wet. First of all, me, I have like a playlist. Like, I'm a Barbie girl. I grew up on like the oldies Barbie movies. I know the song I want to walk down the aisle to. I
so
know,
cute.
like, I just want to party with my
So you
friends.
guys just want to
I just want them
No, I
to
just
come.
want a
I
party.
want a beautiful ring on my finger.
Yeah.
Same.
But I want that if today morning I woke up and be Ganye, I
You
don't want
go.
to now go through the courts. And
I
all
don't
of that.
want to start
I don't want us
fighting
to
long
see each other. In
battles.
fact, me, I don't know if I'll be those people who moves into a home with somebody. I feel like even if I move into a home with you, I should have like some place of my own that is already paid off and everything, so that in case things don't go well,
But you see, let me
I
tell
have
you.
home.
But you see, this is what we keep talking about with my sister.
I'm
And,
loved at home.
You know, first of all, as we all know by now, marriage was a business arrangement.
Always. In
Among
fact,
the
it's never
wealthy.
about love.
Among the wealthy, first and foremost. If marriage was not for poor people.
Thank you.
Marriage was for rich
We are
people.
engaging in things that we are not supposed.
We are not supposed
Thank
to.
you.
Marriage was for rich people, and it was a business arrangement between families. There were alliances between families, kingdoms, etc.
Absolutely.
To continue
The
wealth.
bloodline.
And even though when they got married, the wealthy, remember, lived in castles, villas, etc.
Yeah.
So the plan,
One wing that side.
the design was never
One wing
to
that
be
side. Yeah.
in the same bed. The same bed issue.
For procreation.
The same bed issue of sharing a bed as
Was to
husband
be
and
one
to
people.
was when poor people started getting
doing
married.
that thing.
Because in your home you don't have wings. You don't have madame's chambers. Because
That is so
there's
funny.
actually a concept called what is it called, madame's quarters or whatever. So
Yes.
truly wealthy people still
We're actually
exercise
engaging
that.
in things that
And
They're
I keep
not
saying,
meant for you.
if I'm
They're
going to
rich
live in the
people
same
thing.
house if I'm going to live in the same house with a man, I also have to have my own chambers somewhere.
my little chambers.
Yes, because so that we meet when we want to do the do
Canoodle?
to canoodle to
Yeah.
spoon.
Yeah.
That just can't be every day. You guys, I run in the
True.
mid. I
So
sweat
when
at
you
night.
sweat the way that you sweat.
That's how they always
I
vote. It's
sweat.
like
They run hot. They are
Oh
like
my
they are like
God.
a funniest. You're in the bed with a man, but he's just emitting heat like a stove, like a
Demon
cigarette.
coming out at that time.
Yeah. No, like it's
It's
insane.
rising, yeah.
It's insane.
No, but yeah.
Um,
But like it's so dope that like you've thinking to like make your own choices.
Yeah.
That is honestly, I think it's what we're talking about in the last episode.
Yeah.
The episode before this about the bad woman.
Well,
It's
becoming
you have to
unpunishable,
be
yeah.
an unpunishable woman.
Do.
Where you're like fuck everything around me. Like it has to be about me. Like what do I want?
Yeah.
What
Yes.
makes me feel good? Like you
Yes.
can't like if we continue to live for the world or for people or for imaginary punishments, imaginary rewards.
You will never live your life.
Toge na malako, like you cannot.
Because as a woman, you'll be punished regardless. People
Regardless.
always try to punish
You're
you.
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I've chosen this, and people want to punish me. If I had not chosen that and I had had the baby, people would also want to make fun of me for being a single mother, or they'd make fun of me for being a mother, or like you will never.
There's no winning.
The only winning you have is when you are contented with
yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only
That's when you really win in life.
That's the only actual reward.
Yeah.
Because everything else is a promise that will never
come. Yeah.
It will never come, and you
Yeah.
cannot live life basing off of what other people are. For me, I don't live my life basing off of what people think that I should be doing. And I knew this as young as have you guys had that like euphoria sound like Maddie knew who she was at a very young age? Like when I was in primary, there's a time they asked us. I remember when KPS. If you guys are in this class with me, do you remember this? Because they asked us, it is, right? What is the abbreviation of it, or what's the short form of it? Is it it's with an apostrophe or it's without? Now I knew this because guys. When you read, you kind of get to understand words better. So because I've been reading since I was literally in nursery, I knew for sure that it had an apostrophe. But everyone, when they said so, hands up if you think it's without. Everyone put up their hand. Now, usually, a lot of people are group mentality focused. And I understand why it's a survival thing. It's not because people are dumb.
No.
Group think is just easier. It's easier to take the path of least resistance. I understand because the truth is when I put up my hand alone,
you are alone.
The entire class. When I put up my hand for it's with an apostrophe, I remember everyone started snickering and laughing.
And mocking.
And the teacher even asked me, "Are you sure?"
Yeah.
But I am I know it is.
I know it is.
I've seen this word so many times.
I know this for sure. And then when she said it was that, like, and then now everyone hates that you're looking at them. And I'm
they're like,
she's a wise waker. She thinks she knows everything.
Sorry, but I do. Yeah. Sorry,
I stopped apologizing for being a wise waker.
I stopped apologizing. I take the time to educate myself. So how about you do the same? So like from that time, I knew I'm not somebody who
like
it might hurt that people don't. Do the same thing.
Yeah, of course. Like exactly.
It makes me feel ostracized. I used to cry a lot about that.
It's a bit lonely because you're like
very
moving on a path that like
my mom used to actually always say I moved schools a lot.
Yeah.
And I moved schools because every time I'd get very uncomfortable, people would treat me a certain type of way. And my mom understands that more than anyone. So she would always take me out of the school. That's one thing she'd listen to. She'd be like, okay, you're not comfortable, let me take you out of the school. So but she'd always tell me, Ashley, some of us are meant to stick out like sore thumbs.
Yes.
That's something she'd always tell me from when I was a kid. I had no friends like growing up. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I knew people. I realized that people were fascinated by me, but people didn't actually like me as a person. People didn't love me as a human.
It's hard to love or love something that you don't understand.
Yeah.
Yes, people didn't understand me, but people were fascinated by me. I always had people coming towards me, flocking towards me. By the first day of school, people already knew who I was and everything like that. But I realized people didn't really know me or want to know me. They were just fascinated by me,
and then that grows into and resentment because they don't understand you.
Exactly. And also I'm a very strict person, so like I hold people accountable because I hold myself accountable, and that makes you very uncomfortable to deal with. So I got labeled difficult. It used to make me cry a lot because I was like, why am I difficult for requiring you to be honest or to communicate or to be kind to me or to be and then the thing of people not backing me up because you're strong, people never back you up. For me, I always witness people give everyone else the benefit of the doubt, but never me. For me, no, that one is difficult for sure. You're telling the right thing. So I grew up very lonely. So as much as it hurt me a lot, but it also forced a lot of independence in me. Like I was already an independent person. So for me, I'm not uncomfortable with being alone. In fact, I love going. After this, I might go to the cinema on my own because I want to watch Michael Jackson. I love going to the cinema on my own. I used to do this thing where I would like romanticize it by like sneaking in like French toast or like English pancakes to make me feel really happy. I love it. Like I talk to myself in the cinema. No one is seeing me. And I genuinely enjoy myself.
Your own company.
Yes, I enjoy my own company. It's important that you strengthen that because one of the things that used to scare me is our moms are feminists of sorts, right? And then they settled for these men, or at least in my case. And they settled for like a lot of men that I saw growing up and that I didn't see why they settled for them. And I realized it's not always about smarts. It's about desperation. You become desperate and society pushes you into it. Actually, that's what people talk about regret. They don't mean I'm going to actually regret. They mean men will penalize me so much and not want to to be with me
that
I
you will regret it. But that's
because
because again, the imaginary reward.
Yes,
is
for
a
being that
man.
woman.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, the imaginary reward for being a good woman and doing the right thing.
That's the only reward.
That's the only. If you think about it, that's
The
the
only
They
reward.
don't talk about the quality of the man. They don't want
Nothing.
Nothing.
It's the man.
It's
Like,
just
you
a
should
man.
be grateful that there is a man that
Wants to be with you.
Like,
that wants
but
to
now
pick
that
you.
you've made the choices that you have, then it's like
I'm saying
that's
I
the
don't care
threat.
to be picked.
Yeah.
But now that for them, but that's the thing. Like, funny thing is, they don't get that. They don't get it. Like, for them, it doesn't click that by you making the kind of decision that you made, you don't care to be picked. You don't care about a man. That's why they'll still. I mean, how many times our comment sections is always filled with like, "You show us your man," but I just told you
I don't. That's the point of this.
about that.
Like,
Like,
you're proving our
yes.
point. As in,
like
you
you're
see
proving,
your.
like it's always that's always the threat.
First
of,
of all,
like, what
when
is-
we had guys, when I was doing the news interview, they asked me, "Do you have a boyfriend or anything like that?" I said no, but like the ones I've had in the past, I have expressed my sentiments
Yeah.
that I don't want to have children. And
Yeah.
some understood, some didn't understand. But for me, that was very much irrelevant to the conversation because unless again you're siring that child within your own womb,
you have no,
you have absolutely no say to me. Like, it has no say. And me, I don't look at, people look at dating in a way that I don't look at dating as. People date to marry or they date forever. I date to experience people. I can date you for 3 weeks, and if we had a great time, there's this guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, guys. There's this guy that I met a couple years ago when I was like newly single, and he was a great liar. He was a good liar. Why I say it was a lie, I didn't know who he was before, so like I didn't know that I was being lied to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing about me, when I'm in an experience, I fully immerse
You're
myself.
inside.
Because when I get out of it, I'll be out of it. I need you to know that I will be done. I don't spin the block. I don't circle back. So when I met this guy, he was very confident. For me, I don't meet a lot of confident guys. Guys tend to fear me a lot. So I take audacity very serious. Audacity that is warranted, please.
And also, if you can be
Yes.
audacious.
If you can be audacious. If you see me looking at you with some eyes, then try.
you'll know if
If you
can
see
be
me not
audacious.
looking at you with some eyes, please don't gander. Don't walk to me. Please release. So
At arm's length.
yes,
Maintain
please,
the distance.
Maintain distance.
Yeah.
So this guy, he infiltrated my life. And one thing about me, you see, I'll go with the delusion is fun when it is
Bruh,
fun.
it's so
But me,
sweet.
I am serious about having it when it is fun. I don't delude myself outside of that.
Yeah.
So within the first week, at I love you basis, and I'll take it.
You're like, how can no one?
I was like,
I love me.
look at me. I know it wasn't even him. Doing this. You. I'm like, look, I love you. This is amazing. I am having the time of my life, honey.
Now
and look,
I love you.
and he's
right
like, I
now.
love you right back because niggas, they'll go with
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
whatever. We were having amazing sex. Wow, we would skip work to have sex and stuff and whatever. It was amazing. I never experienced that in my life before because this was my first relationship out of school. But then certain things start to flare up, checking something and seeing something. Now I'm starting to tell my brain, okay, now we need to start checking out.
Yeah.
So I remember when I realized that it's time to check out. First of all, he had traumas and everything. Now me, I don't mind that because we're human beings.
Yeah.
But
Everyone has.
be
We all
from a
come with
place
something.
where you're interrogating
Yeah.
yourself. Because for me, I interrogated myself. No one has saved me, So, but I can be here for you. So, I was trying to see how first of all, he had a kid. Now, not that I care about that, because me, I'm not going to take
Yeah,
on
you're
your child.
Yeah.
But you guys are not even allowing me to be a step parent. I can't even check in on
Yeah,
the kid
on
was
the
now because
kid.
there was baby mama drama. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? So that was very exhausting. And then, this is, how long was this relationship, you ask?
How long is this?
A month.
What?
Because
A
by...
lot can happen in a month.
Listen!
I mean, if
A lot
you're
can happen
if
in
you're
a month.
if you're in Delulu land, a lot can happen in that.
Let me tell you, a lot. But me, I was having the time where, when the
Yeah.
dates were coming, he
Yeah.
would video call me while he's in a meeting just to see my face. Listen. Listen. I love when somebody wants to be with me. I would not be home. He would say, you don't have to go home. Let's just go. You pick
Yeah.
some clothes
Yeah.
and you come back.
You're
When
like,
his parents' compound.
Ah!
I would go and pick my clothes. I would go and pick
You're like,
my
oh my
clothes
god, he
and
wants
say,
me next
baby,
week.
you want me next to me?
Yeah.
You want to be with me?
You could.
Me too.
Let's sleep without
Me too. You can.
We're so in love.
Oh.
We need to fall asleep in each other's
Oh.
arms.
So beautiful.
Kiss me again. Kiss me again. Yes, that is what, because me, I'm about the love.
Yeah.
I'm actually here to enjoy myself.
Yeah.
And I wrote an article about this. If you guys check out my Substack, it's also still at The Thoughts That Plague My Mind, Miss MaryAsh. I wrote about the chronicles of dating as a feminist.
Yeah.
And like, for me, I say, to be a true lover is to be a leaver. And why I say that is because if you're a foodie, do you continue eating at a restaurant that has bad food? Once, because it used to have good food, but now that it has bad food, you say, but I'm dedicated. You're not a foodie.
You're not a foodie.
That is it.
You're lying.
That is it.
There's a cap somewhere.
That is it. Because
So
you're
for me,
not a true lover.
I'm
if
a
you
lover
can't-
in
if
that
you
when
don't
the
live.
love is there to enjoy.
You enjoy.
You
Oh,
enjoy.
baby.
Stop, you're in that thing.
You want me to be here? Oh. That means if communication gets scanty, I get scanty with it.
Yeah, you move with it.
I mean, I
move with it.
Oh, honey. I don't do petite for tat. Mona, you're not talking. I'm not talking. When you're not talking,
you
guys
go.
say, I'm done.
Exit.
But
I
that's the thing,
excuse
because I don't
myself.
do well with uncertainty.
Yeah.
I don't do well with here and there. No. If there's confusion, it means it is a no.
Yeah.
There should be no confusion. Either you should be completely in love with me and you must, or we are not together.
Yeah.
For me, it's no in between. You get what I'm saying? So when this guy now the video calls in the press conference, now he's too busy.
Yeah.
Now,
That's what I was just
babe,
like.
I just arrived from the village. Then I just
said
this.
now,
Then
the
I just
kid,
that.
I said now
Then now I need. Now lend me some. When,
That's what I. That's like the person I told you the other day when I told him, you start saying I'm busy. He said, "Sweetheart, sitakuzanga sienda kula."
Yeah.
So the minute he, oh,
You're like,
honey, I was
I'm out of
fine.
here.
I was out of there so quick.
Yeah.
Like, I think he was so stunned. And you see, the thing about me is when I'm done, I'm done. And yet the
Exactly.
intensity I
Exactly.
cared with you
Yeah.
for, you might be confused. You might think that I don't even want an explanation.
Yeah.
You know, women get stuck a lot because they want to understand the whys. I don't need to understand
You
the
don't
whys.
need to
I just need to
understand
know that
them.
the love is no longer on the table.
Yeah.
But that's the thing.
That's it.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, as Clee's like, I'm the same way. I move on with the
With a quickness.
like, it would be like, we'll even be chatting, oh my God, next week you ask me, I'm like, who?
Who's that?
I'm like,
Now we're having chat.
I'm like sending those stickers
Yeah.
all the time. They're like, Ashley, you're the one who falls in love in 2 weeks, and then in the third week, you're like, guys, I don't think it's that
but that's
serious.
because
Like, I don't think-
but that's because in those 2 weeks they were showing you
You
that
that,
that
when they were showing you, yeah.
Me, I think I arrive in love, and then I start subtracting as I go.
That's what I kept telling her. That's what I kept telling us. That's what I kept telling us. She keeps telling him, they need to start in jail.
me, yeah.
And the family now,
Yeah.
then
That's
that's
jail
jail,
and then
jail,
come
then
out.
they're left into
And I was telling
us
us
that
when
you
you are
should do
lover,
that here.
when you are lover, you start from the other side. Hi. High
you.
on love.
But that's like, okay,
you.
like, I agree, definitely.
But
I
also
agree,
exactly what you're
yeah.
saying, because I also came to that realization, and I used
Yeah.
to feel so guilty because it takes away the guilt
Yeah.
in choosing to date certain people. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
When you think about it as this person is only here for me to experience, and we will
Yes.
experience this for as long as it goes.
Yes.
And then when it's done, you
it's
stop
karma.
carrying it on your shoulders. Like, why did I
Yes.
date them? I should have been smarter. I should have been
Yeah.
wiser. No. You start to carry the other person's
Because
bad
you don't
manners.
hold yourself
Yeah,
in there.
in there.
yes.
You start to carry their bad manners and everything that
And
they
you
did,
internalize
and you
it.
internalize it, and
And
you
try
carry it
to
on your shoulders.
rationalize
You
it,
no.
yeah.
And
You
to those
say
who say-
I was here to experience what was there at that point in time. Sure.
And to those who say that means this is why marriages are failing, and this is why exactly because women don't have to take on you people's burdens anymore.
Yeah.
because
No
they
one
don't
is
they don't
walking through
stay.
anything.
Yeah.
You're right.
They don't stay when you treat them badly.
You're
Yeah.
right.
You're
You're right. We're not our parents. You're right.
You're
the
right.
home is broken.
Yeah,
I will not
it's
be
so-
staying for your
But also,
nonsense.
you guys, I'm sorry, me and my parents, none of the women in my life left.
Please.
Even me, I keep saying in our
In
family,
from where I come from.
we keep laughing and saying in my family that we're guyaba.
But that's the thing.
You
Exactly.
only have to show me you hate me once.
But why would you allow someone
You
to show you
only
they don't want
have
you?
to, because you see,
Once,
women want
twice,
something to.
3
I see a
times.
babe. She'll tell me, because people like to big sister me, right? So they come to me for advice a lot of the time. All the people come to me for advice all the time. And I'm like, okay, let me do my best to understand your situation. And she'll come and tell me, hey. So this man, he's not been communicating. Actually, we have not been communicating for the past 3 months. He's just been telling me he's been busy at work and all that stuff and everything. So I said, so Ashley,
3 months, you're showing me you don't want me for 3 months. I
Thank
can't
you.
allow you that time.
even my job,
I
I
might
knew
even
within a
get-
month
I
that
might
I did
even-
not want to be at it anymore.
I might even get married in those 3 months.
Thank you. What are you talking about?
To me? What are you saying?
So she's saying that she doesn't know what to do, and I tell her, well, I think it's very clear that if you're confused and if somebody's not prioritizing communicating with you and whatnot, then it means they don't want you anymore. I would like you to block that person for your mental health and move on with your life.
Yeah.
So I said, no, but actually, they have not told me anything.
Why do
Communication is not about words. He has told you.
Communicate in more than just words. Actions. What, like, it's, he has told you. He's told you.
Why are you having a conversation about this?
You guys,
You know, we've been sold the myth of smanya closure. Smanya, you have to over-conversate. I keep saying, you don't need to over-conversate with men. You don't need to. Even if they
just watch and
listen. This thing of saying, of trying to get out emotions that are not there, trying to get out information that's not
so you don't want me. You don't need to tell me.
I stop those things. I keep saying, if I could write about a book about my dating experiences in my 30s, rather of my 20s, that I've learned now in my, there are some things I can never repeat.
But you guys, does it get better? Because
it doesn't get better.
The
But you
only
start
thing that
choosing
gets, you know, the only thing that gets better
is
maybe I had to leave the country.
Yeah,
because
even
outside there, girl.
But that's the thing. The only thing that gets
even the other race.
But you know, I thought I was gonna get a Theo James because listen,
a man will always be a man.
Now you see now you see that Theo James. Now you see Theo James. Now you also now on top of like you being a man and a woman and a man. Now you have to now go
the race layer
of
Ask
it.
Me.
Now you've become a teacher of not gender but also race.
Because you know the thing is, I was seeing the statistics in the US, not in the UK, but in the US, statistically, the most successful marriages are between white men
and black women, which is very true.
And the most unsuccessful
are between black
men and white women.
Yes.
And the reason is because not necessarily that white men are good people or anything.
No.
But there's a difference in the way they're raised.
It's so funny what we're talking
white
about.
men are taught responsibility. And they're taught some sort of, remember, white men have at most privilege. If there's the height of privilege is a white man.
And
no one is above that. And the bottom is a black woman and a child. So for them, they have experienced utmost privilege. But however, the way they're taught to be a man is very different from the way black men are taught to be men, because black men are not taught to be men, they're taught to not be women. So all they are is to pretend not to be women. So I'm aggressive, I'm this and that. Now white men are quite similar in that a lot of the incels quite similar as well, and for them they also have privilege. So like it's a huge thing. However, the ones who are taught to be like men,
because they have nothing.
Because when they have a lot of them, their fathers unfortunately around. For these ones, they're not, and they've seen nothing but terrible examples for the most part. For them, responsibility is a very different type of conversation. It's not from a place of love; it's from a place of obligation. A lot of them kind of behave in a way of, we haven't met, as black women, we are always the ones doing stuff. We haven't met people who are competent to do stuff. Competence, we underestimate how much competence is important. You underestimate it. Like, it's not always from a mushy-gushy place. Like, to know that a guy knows that it's not a thing of he feels so much desire for you. It's just a thing of
he
like,
has to.
Like, I have to do certain things. Like, for him, it's a no-brainer. We don't get that from a lot of these black men. And that doesn't make black men or white men necessarily better. It's talking about why black women would thrive in that type of relationship. Because for them, also white men have privilege, so they introduce you to a world of privilege.
But it's
a
also,
black man is...
It's also because I noticed, like, a white man, they don't... They are not.
They have nothing.
They have nothing to prove.
Competing with you for
anything.
So they're not operating from a place of ego.
They're not competing. Because they're like, you know what? I'm the privileged person in this relationship. So if I'm in relationship with a black woman, I have to make her life better because I am the one who is in the most privileged position in this relationship. I'm not fighting to take up space in the world. I am a white man.
Like you get,
literally, I am as
the world was built for me. The world was built for me. Do you understand? So they come, many of them, the good ones, come into relationship from that perspective.
But
especially when they've done.
But even if they haven't done the thinking, it's just even the ego bit of it all. They are just confident in who they are. Like, you're not a threat. Like if you don't find someone a threat, you just don't find them a threat.
Oh my God,
so you'll never move in
a lot of them come from emotionally regulated places. Let me tell you, white guys, for them in their families, you see, what we're talking about, where a woman might not be as emotionally intelligent, but compared to a man, she's always going to be a bit better because we are held to a certain standard. A white man in their homes, for them, for example, being maybe a city pa and all of that, that's not the conversation they be having. They be like, Mom, I'm not gonna do that because I don't feel great and I don't feel this and I don't feel that. They're taught to express their emotions and feel them. So the way he will react to you might not be as similar to guys who are taught to suppress, because boys penalize each other
For
for
expressing
expressing.
their
So they
emotions.
suppress.
Yeah.
So that comes out as anger, frustration, projection.
Yeah.
For them, he told mom, I'm not gonna do that. Like,
Yeah.
Mom,
I'm not
that
gonna-
hurt my
yeah,
feelings.
yeah.
Yeah.
That hurt
Mom,
my
that hurt my
feelings.
feelings. So he's gonna tell you, sweetie, that hurt my feelings. And so, like, even when you tell him that hurt my feelings, you can only understand something you know.
Yeah.
So a guy doesn't get to tell you, a black man will not get to tell you that he hurt his feelings because he thinks that's weak. So how can he think it's okay for
It's
you
okay
to
for
say
you to
that?
say that
Yeah.
because it's like why
Yes.
now for them it's now you're being a woman, you're being dramatic.
Yes,
You get
but a white man, dramatic was the name of the game.
Yeah. In their household. Yeah.
Mom, you just don't get this.
Yeah.
And then he will storm out. So you, when you say, baby, you just don't get this. You don't get it.
You don't get it. And he'll sit with himself and say, let me do some thinking here about how can I get it?
Maybe I actually don't get it. Because for them, they're allowed to not get it. For you, were you allowed to get it? Were you even allowed to get those words out of your mouth?
How?
Yeah.
What do
No,
you
but
mean?
it's true that most successful relationships are between white men and black
women.
But-
Because there's something about that
also,
pair that...
But also the white man needs to have done a lot of work in
Race.
understanding the race component.
Of course.
And to understand their privilege. Because then that also
course.
becomes a barrier. When you're dating a white man who hasn't yet understood that level of privilege that he has.
You're wasting your time.
You're
Potato.
nil and void.
Anyway,
True.
all in all, it doesn't get so much better. I think the only thing that gets better, but for you, I mean, for you started very early, but the only thing that gets better is that you, as you grow older, it's so funny because they keep threatening you, like, as you grow older, like I keep telling, me and Liz keep saying, you guys, you threatened us, you told us we would reach a point in our age where now, like, you'll start, you'll be so desperate, you'll start settling, all your standards will drop. You guys, they keep increasing.
Where's the desperation?
The standard every year.
increases. They told us 40.
Yeah.
40 comes.
But
no one
even
is
they told us
regretting.
when you clock 30, that your list will start decreasing. You guys, every other list
The list
increases.
increases.
Now it's even harder. I'm like, someone told me, Ogenda Mubumba. Like, are you trying to like, that man?
My standards are high.
You
I
get,
want
the
a
list keeps
valuable
increasing, like,
person in my
but you
life.
threatened me. You told me that at 30, that
My list will go down.
But it keeps increasing. So that's the only thing that
But you know,
changes
this
because
is
now
so
you're
important.
like, that clock disappears.
Yeah.
Yes, and you know this is so
And now you
important
don't
in
even
terms
have
of
it at
representation.
all.
People underestimate how much it is important to see women like you. Me, I used to be terrified.
Yeah.
I'd be like, is this what I'm going to become?
Like
I
things that,
refuse.
like, you don't want to become like those bitter women.
Yes,
Those
I'm
are
like,
bitter
will
women.
my brain cells die? Because I don't think
Representation
that
is
this
so,
is something
so,
I want
so
to
important.
see women like you
Yeah.
take the stage and say, actually, my list increased, and I want something better. You don't know what you're doing for that young girl who, because you had to pass the trials and tribulations to get to that point.
Yeah.
Right, yeah,
But
exactly.
and you don't.
you have to
Other girls
reduce
don't need
that
to
for others.
pass through
Yes.
trials and tribulations. No.
Yes.
But that it shouldn't be a rite of passage.
It
No,
should
it
not.
shouldn't.
Why do we take suffering for women as well? You know, my aunties used to tell me, "Okubom kazi no kubona abona." That
Imagine,
means like
wow,
to be a woman is to suffer.
That is so sad.
And I remember I used to
But that's the
refuse
reality.
that because I'm like, I don't want to suffer. And you see, even looked at as bad for not wanting
For not
to
wanting to
suffer.
suffer. Of like
For wanting
yeah.
I've been talking to my
and-
grandmother. My grandma is blind, and my grandmother was a nun.
No.
So she left the convent
Wait.
when she had the
Eh.
child, of course. So I don't think she wanted to have the child, but she had the child. And but she's still very religious. She's very, very religious. And she was quite a terrorist when we were growing up. But now she's, quite fragile. She's vulnerable. She's blind. She's a vegetable in bed half the time. She's not doing anything. And so I feel so bad for her sometimes. And so sometimes I go and visit her. And we're having conversations, and I always tell my grandma the truth. So I was telling her, you're in judge things zakuzara. And she says, what do you mean zakuzara? Like, what do you mean you're not going to give birth? And I'm like, because I don't want to suffer. And then she says, no, what do you mean you have to suffer? If your mom didn't give birth to you, then you wouldn't be here. And I said, yes, and I wouldn't know. I wouldn't feel anything.
I wouldn't
So
be
she
here to
laughs.
know that.
She laughs. She's like, oh, Uncle Ashley. But my grandmother, if she had been seeing, and
you say such things.
said, there would be prayers for me.
Of course.
At home.
Yeah.
But me, I like to tell her the truth. I don't want her to go to heaven whenever she does go and assume that was me. I want her to know
that while she's still here.
Well, she's still
Your
here.
child
But
will
I
be
know
happy.
their generation,
Child.
they were meant. They believed suffering was part of
It's part of who you
know,
are.
when we were at my grandmother's place for Easter, I noticed how she looks at us because we don't but we don't make ourselves busy for nothing.
There's some resentment.
What she feels like you're useless in life when you're just sitting there enjoying
I
her
sit
air
with
and
my
oxygen.
brothers.
Do you understand?
There we are gossiping.
So for her, she looks at us as, how dare you? But because for them that was required of them. And I think it's so difficult for her to reconcile those two realities. Also because my mom also tries to make it clear that why must you suffer? Like, why must even for her, my grandmother would rather fight with life
than just let it come
than let someone do something for her, help her, etc. And that's for them, that's the reality they were raised in. That has been life for them as women. So they find us useless over.
And they
like
do.
When you just finding us there chilling. Like,
my
she
grandma
can
used to
find
call
me
me
there on the couch like this, doom scrolling.
My
And she looks
grandmother
at
used
me
to
like,
call me Nalulu,
girl,
you are Nigeria. That's what she used to call me. She's like, you were just you're just beautiful.
Yeah,
you're
no
watching
problems.
TV,
You're whatever.
and it used to
sometimes
make me feel bad.
Yeah,
But I realized, no, you're right. I am actually beautiful, and I don't want to do
and
anything.
I don't like facts.
Actually, I'm quite the most useless person at functions. That's why I hate family functions. Because people expect me to do something, but I'm not, and I won't feel shame. Listen, I will scroll through TikTok while you guys go to the kitchen and you cut some onions. I hate the smell of onions in my hands. And I will not be cutting
that will not
onions.
be me.
Valid.
I am so sorry. Even at my mom's, when I come home, do you want something? No one sends me to the kitchen. It's not who I am. And what's wrong with that? I'm working hard so that I can afford that for myself. I don't want to struggle. I don't want to suffer. Look, I've seen pain of women in my life. I think I felt that pain so much that I have enough pain I felt as a woman for a lifetime. I don't want to experience that. I want happiness. I want to be something that my little sister looks at and she's like, oh my God, there's happiness in being a woman. There's joy in being a woman, no matter what you choose. Even if she decides to have babies or not, I want her to know that there's community for you. I will never let my sister be alone in having kids. Like, I'll never have her be like, I'm a mother 24/7. No, drop the kids home. Drop the kids home. Go out, have a good time. Take a weekend. Like, mothers don't have community.
Afsa always said, because people, Afsa would say, oh, I don't want to have kids, and people would be like somehow. And so I would always say, Afsa always says, and she lives it. She says, I will be the best auntie
there is.
I used to like.
And the reason I'm able to be the best auntie I can be is because I don't have kids of my own.
You don't,
Because I'm not tired all the time. That's why you can bring your kids to me for a week and they'll be with me. And I have no problem with that because I'm not drained, I'm not tired, I'm not exhausted. You get?
This is not permanent.
This is not permanent, you get. But also I have the energy that you don't in that time, you get.
And
I have that space, I have that funds to like
true. Because you're not paying fees.
I'm not paying fees, I'm not doing anything. Like even if I'm feeding them for that week or that month, like you get, like I don't have to do it for the rest of my life. You get.
And even when we deconstruct, like I saw somebody talking about, we need to deconstruct as women. Even when we choose to be child-free women, we don't have to mother other people in our lives or their kids because it's okay. And I agree with that so much. But also for me, while I will be that person for the women around me, is because I think one of my critiques of motherhood is we don't give mothers community. We do not. Mothers are alone. They're not being supported. My cross will be to give mothers in my life community. Because, not because I'm overextending myself. I will not overextend myself, of course. But I will be something to them because it's one of the reasons why this is such a trying experience. And yet motherhood should be such a beautiful experience. It should be, I experience challenges like every other thing, but it should not be a trying experience.
Like I keep saying, I've been so privileged, but because you need to get to that point of deconstructing to understand, to see your life properly as a woman. Like I've had my daughter, and by all means, I'm a single mom. But I've had a community of women that for a long time I couldn't. It's like I didn't understand the value of that community because we're always told, as a mother, you must be mom and dad. So if the dad is present, then it doesn't make sense. You understand? So like, it's not until now, like getting older, that I'm like, that was the better deal. This one that I'm in was the better deal. Because I've had a community of women, my mom and my aunties. Now among my mom and her sister, she's the only one who had kids. So basically, because my parents were not living together, my mom raised us with her sisters, also in a community of women.
Do
you understand? So even me, I was so fortunate that when I got pregnant at a young age,
Yeah.
I've raised my daughter in that community
I was always so
with my
envious of
mom
women
and
like
my
you, oh my God.
sisters.
You
get
you have like women in your family, and then you
Yeah.
have like an aunt that you can call, and then me,
Yeah.
I'm the firstborn, and I'm the firstborn oldest person I know in
Yeah.
like my families. I never had anyone to turn to in my life.
No.
I would always cry to myself. I would always.
Yeah.
They used to make sleep talk. I was like,
Aw.
I always had so much on my chest.
Yeah.
I had so much trauma growing
Yeah.
up. I cried a lot.
Yeah.
I was alone a lot. I wrote in my diary. My diary suffers right now. Like I wrote.
But
a
you
lot
see,
in my
diaries are
and
important. We
everything.
keep saying, bring back diaries.
Oh my God, bring back diaries because Twitter is
Yeah,
going crazy.
like
Yeah.
you guys, like let's
Unsolicited
bring back
thoughts.
Let's bring back
but I
diaries.
think also that's the thing. Like I think this is something we've also discussed before is the concept of community. I think we've been so colonized by like the concept of individualism or the nuclear family and all of that that we've disregarded community, which is something that has been there for the longest time.
Yeah.
Like, even when you say like with your mom, like even like I remember like to be honest, even now, like growing up like in my family, if I gave birth, like my sisters would move in my house quickly.
Yeah.
Like when my sister was living in South
Yeah.
all the way in South Africa, she
Yeah.
would give birth and
People fly from Uganda
to
Yeah.
go
and-
and like stay with her and like
Yeah.
make sure she's there and like she's being taken care of and stuff like that. Like there was like I remember like my mom's would give birth and there would be a sister and auntie, there would be people in the house the whole time. But now we've been told to be strong. I'm strong mom. Why do you need all that help? Like now you'll see people having night nurses and they're being shamed
Absolutely, yeah.
for having a
Yeah,
night nurse
yeah.
and things like that. It's like you want people to have kids, but then you also want them to suffer.
I actually
in that
have
thing.
an article on individualism versus collectivism, a draft of it in my Substack. And my contribution to that conversation is I don't think it is necessarily that it's a westernized version that has like caused like a demonization of like collectivism and everything like that. I don't think it's necessarily that, because community is very important.
Yeah.
I think you see like how feminism is trying to is trying to correct a balance in extreme power on one end of the spectrum. Collectivism is on an extreme end in African countries. We are extremely collectivist because remember everything has an advantage or
And
disadvantage.
disadvantage, yeah.
It is true, yes, your mom will be there as you give birth. She might give you a house.
But
She
that
might give you a
just-
car. But now you're accountable to everyone
Yeah.
in your life for your own life and your own choices.
Yeah.
That's true.
So there's been an extremism in actually people say there's an extremism in individualism. No. The extremism is you guys are seeing an extreme shift in one thing
individualism,
again.
yeah.
There's actually an extremism in collectivism because the things we hear in our cultures, because we are collectivist culture, like no, I'm on news because I said I don't want to give birth. What?
How is that?
What
any
business
other
is
business
that of anyone?
This is going to be a
Do you
topic
get
and
what
we'll
I'm
come
saying?
back.
Yes.
But before we finish, because these guys are giving
They're
me
calling
signals,
us, yeah.
you need to tell us very quickly the summary of how you reached the. Okay, you've talked about the how you reached
Yeah.
the decision,
Yeah.
what the process was like. I know I've watched your story like very quickly. Like just give the girls out there like pointers how to go about it, how you did it, what
to know
like
how
the-
they're allowed
the-
to do it. 'Cause
Yeah, that's
I'm
also
very sure I've asked the question,
Let me tell
and
you.
it's always one doctor asked me to come back when I have a husband.
yeah. They said come back,
Let me tell you
come back with your
something.
partner. Yeah,
Me, I might not look it, but I have a big head. That's one thing about me. I will have more information than you on something. Whether you're a doctor, whether you went to med school, I will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I will come in. When I'm having conversations, I'm not asking you. I'm
telling
telling
you. Yeah,
I don't come at it from da da da. This is what we're gonna do. So when I met this doctor, I consulted with a couple of doctors because I was diagnosed in 2024 for my fibroids.
Yeah.
And just to quickly walk through it, and that wasn't at the time part of the conversation. But by this time, I was recently sexually active as an adult. I
Yeah.
didn't start having sex till after university.
Yeah.
So for me, every day the fear of some man trapping me with this kid.
You're going in things that you're like, and you're like,
It would give me so much
Oh,
anxiety. I'm like,
yeah.
today might be the day, today might be the day, today might
Yeah.
be the day. And so
first, just to go back, you always, like, at what point did you know for sure? Was it before you were sexually active?
No,
that
but
you
by
didn't
that
want
time,
kids?
I knew for sure that I probably will never want to have children.
Okay.
So I had already come to that point.
Okay.
I'd already come to that point
Yeah.
because in uni there was a point when I was like, unless I meet the right man, then I realized there's no such thing.
Yeah.
So at that point I was like,
You're like, this is not for me.
I'm not
it's
having children
happening.
and everything
Okay.
like that.
All right.
But I'd given myself till 26, so I wasn't supposed to do it that time. But
Yeah.
my fibroids expedited this process.
Okay.
Because I was like, they're already going inside me.
Yes.
I know
And your
most
body
likely,
is
unless
fighting.
children are no longer a permanent thing,
Yeah.
then there's nothing changing my mind. I
Yeah.
don't like the permanence of children.
Yeah.
So when I was having the conversation with her, I had seen a couple of doctors. At first, my doctor was going to be male actually, and I told him about all these things. Then I met this lady, and let me tell you why this lady was
need to
able
give
to
me the
give it to me.
contact.
I'll be sending her contact. Let me tell you why this lady was able to do this for me. First of all, that I noticed in my heart that made her different as opposed to other doctors. That babe is very content in her life.
Yeah.
She is married. She has kids. Her husband loves her.
Yeah.
She loves her husband. She's not stressed. She was, you know, those women who walk into a room and you can tell they're calm.
They're like moving on air.
Yeah.
She did not come from a place of resentment with me. She
Yeah.
came from a place of knowledge. So at the beginning, the only reason why she was not going to give it to me was because people don't like women doing this. So when we first had the conversation, she said, Ashley, no, I can't do that to you.
Yeah.
She told me, Ashley, I don't think you should. I explained to her, I told her, look, you need to know my story. So I explained her my story. I tell her all these different things. I tell her it is my absolute biggest fear. For me, when I see motherhood, I see the end of my life.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's such an important
Yes.
And you
thing.
can't
Yeah.
leave.
You can't.
I
yeah.
see the
Right,
end
you
of
can't
my life. I
live the
cannot
rest
do
of your
this.
life.
Yeah.
Listen,
Fear
I
is
living
cannot
that
do
fear,
this.
yeah.
Yes. I was like, I cannot do this. I want to live my life. She said, okay, Ashley, maybe let's do a copper IUD because you're scared of hormones. I told her I've never taken a birth control. I've never even taken an after pill.
Yeah.
I have never taken any of these things. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Please. I've had fibroadenoma in my boobs. Before I got
Yeah.
fibroids, I had fibroadenoma in my boobs. So I know that's also hormonal. So I'm like, I don't want issues with my body.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, let me do a copper IUD. I said, I cannot do that. Because you see how my mom has come to take it out? I don't want to do that. I don't want to come back here. I don't want pain. I just want to move on with my, I want to live my life as I've already chosen, which is as a
Free.
child-free
Yeah.
woman. So I explained to her all of these things. She said, okay, you know what, think on it. Let's see how it goes. She explains to me all the processes. The next day I sent her the money on her phone. I said, I've sent. She said, "Oh, okay. I'm even when you meet me and you speak to me, you can tell I have conviction.
Yeah,
And also I'm very informed. I will come and say, oh, I read that, this and this and this
Yeah.
and this. And also
And some
again,
doctors hate they say you have kajanja. When you're
listen,
kind of-
I'm not
That's
this is
your
what my
problem.
money too.
My body.
I'm not asking.
Yeah.
I never come at it from this is a conversation. I come at it from so this is what we shall be doing.
Yeah.
Tell me what I need
Yeah,
to be doing
make you
this.
so
Yeah.
for it to
But
happen.
because this woman, I know it was because of that. She was very content in her life.
Yeah.
So she understood. She listened to me. She understood me. And she said, you know what? I have been fortunate enough to be given an amazing life with my children, and an amazing husband.
By
But I've
by
seen what
force.
people go through when that's not the case.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you what you want. So of course they made you write the consent form and everything like that. And I even told them I'm going to film this and I'm going to talk about my experience on YouTube because I'm a content creator and I take education of women very seriously. Actually, I even called it with my mom having PCOS. Like I've always known
Yeah.
these things. Like I read a lot, so much. I'm very informed. So for her, she came, why she was able to do it as opposed to maybe another female doctor I might meet, because this has nothing to do with her necessarily just being a woman. Because women have internalized misogyny.
Yeah, true.
I realized it was because she came from
the
a
other
place.
day who asked me such stupid
Thank you.
questions.
It came from a full place, a place of deconstruction, a place of knowledge, a place of education, of exposure, but of content. She's not trying to oppress me, to punish me for her own choices, because a lot of women are.
Yeah.
She's
Like
not.
projection, yeah.
All
Yes, it's
other women
projection.
go through this for you. Why shouldn't
Why
you?
do you feel
Yes,
so
for me, who
special?
do I think I am? She never had anything of that because for sure she had a great life. So it was very easy with her. The first thing I asked her when I woke up,
Did you do it?
I didn't ask her about the fibroids. I didn't ask her if I'm dying, if I'm bleeding, if I'll be well. I said, did you cut them? She said, yes, I did. I said, we're back
Well,
in action.
hallelujah.
Let's go.
I felt free. I felt now it gave me energy to recover.
Yeah.
My siblings are so supportive. My little brother, he gave me flowers and the card had fuck them kids. Like
Love it.
listen, like me,
Yeah.
my family knows me.
Yeah.
They understand me. So like I had so much support. My friends
Yeah.
took care of me. I healed pretty well. I've not had any complications. I don't even feel
Yeah.
cramps anymore. For some reason, I can't feel when my period starts.
Because I think usually when you're cramping, it's like I think the clot's like going through the tube.
Maybe
sometimes.
I don't even know, but like me, I can only smell it or if I see it.
Yeah,
That's when my period has come.
Yeah.
But like I don't feel anything.
You're giving me ideas.
I swear.
It wasn't for the fact that Bulamo Abalongo.
Give us a longo, yes. But like I don't feel anything.
Yeah.
I've not had any complications. I've not had any issues.
how long did it take to heal?
Because
Okay,
I have
you already
downtime
had,
because of my fibroids.
yeah.
But if you go and have tubal ligation, that is an outpatient procedure. You don't even stay in the hospital.
Really?
It's a 15-minute thing.
What?
Yeah, you might not
I think I've
be able
read
to
that
move.
before,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
a 15-minute procedure. Actually, for me, they put me under because I was already going under surgery.
Yeah.
But they don't put you under. They just
Yeah.
numb you here. They cut you. They unless you're somebody who's scared, then you can ask them to of course put you to
Yeah.
bed. But like that's.
But I think they
that's
just
not
do
usually done.
the moonlight gas.
Yes, yes.
There's something it's called where it's not
Yes.
full anesthesia, but it's like a
Yes,
gas that
it's just
just makes you
actually they usually do. Yeah,
woozy. Yeah.
Yeah.
they pump your stomach full of gas.
Do you know if it's something? Okay, I'm sure there's it's a medical procedure in some cases, but you know if it's something that they've like people have come, like women have come and requested for. Is it something that usually like a request that usually happens? Because like with you, it's because I'm sure you like insisted. And
Yes,
you're like,
yes,
100%. This is what I want.
Yes.
But is it is it something that other women ask for and then usually it's like no, you can't?
Yeah,
Because like
I've
me, I know I've asked for it.
So
but I'm
much.
like, does it? How often?
Actually, I got that feedback a lot on Twitter.
yeah,
People said that.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, most women are refused tubal ligation.
Yeah.
Because I told you guys when after I had Abigail, I thought I would never have kids again because
Yeah.
of how traumatic the birthing
Yeah.
experience
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
So I wanted to. Because I was like, I'm never having kids again. I'm done. So I asked for it, but they refused. Because for a long time I wasn't on birth control.
Yeah, yeah.
So I thought, let me just do a tubal ligation, and
Yeah.
they kept refusing.
Yeah.
But then of course I had to go back, unpack the trauma behind the childbirth,
Yeah.
and then because at the time we were not allowed things like, especially when you were young, you were just told go at it live.
Yeah.
No epidural.
What?
Was
Because you'd be shamed for
Yeah, you
raw
are
dogging
yeah,
that.
C-section.
You
Raw
know what?
dogging.
That's true. That's why my mom like has had all of them raw dogging.
Yeah.
And
You
she's
are
so
shamed.
proud of it. I'm like, sister.
Yeah,
No.
it's like man,
No.
it's like
But now
thingy.
when I unpacked all those things, I'm like, it's not that I don't want the kids, like
Yeah.
it's fine, but like
It
I
was
had
around
that
that,
trauma, yeah.
yes.
So I had to unpack that, and
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I didn't have the.
Yeah.
But then I was telling you guys, I also think to myself, if I had gotten the tubal ligation, would I be thinking about having children now?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not
Because there's
sure
always,
I would be.
'cause,
Yeah,
like, if you don't make a decision, there's always a chance.
a chance. Yeah.
For you maybe to like change your mind, or even for someone to like just for those things of like, oh yeah, like I'm doing it for him or whatever.
And I feel like that's what people hope that you
Yes,
get to.
exactly.
That's why they don't
Yeah.
tie women's tubes.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't think it's really about you changing your mind.
No,
They believe a man
someone
will
will
change your
your
mind.
mind. Yeah.
So
A man will
like
convince
everyone
you.
was always like a man, and then I realized for me that is irrelevant to
Yeah.
the program
I have
because at the end of the day, again, unless somebody else is giving birth to this baby, and unless children became not permanent, last I
Yeah.
checked, which they
which
always
they
will be,
always will be.
I'm not doing that. So for me, I told her, like, you could tell I was like, listen, when are we doing this? I didn't hesitate. So, but I'm not saying that's the reason why you doctors I'm not giving it to you. I know it's because of medical misogyny.
No, of
It's
course,
because
That's
of
true.
misogyny.
It's
Yeah.
not because of that.
Yeah.
So you have to do trial and error. And for me, the thing is,
Ask
when I
around
want it, I
until
want
you
it.
find
Yeah,
the one who's
until
going
you
to
get
do
I
it.
would have gotten even on a flight and gone to Nairobi and done it, by the way.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
a
Like,
friend who did it in Nairobi.
yes, because
Actually,
in
I have
Nairobi,
friends
they're
who
more
are-
professional that side than they
Yeah.
are here. And medical misogyny is across, by the way, even in the
across
States.
the world,
Yeah.
everywhere.
It's
Even in the
everywhere.
States, I was receiving comments of people saying,
Yeah.
how did you get this done?
Yeah.
You know, how?
is
Who?
very real.
How?
Like, please, you know, that chick is about to get mad.
Yeah.
Because
Such a lovely lady.
Yeah.
You're going to give us her contact because
I can't
first of all, I'm
wait.
tired of seeing male guy. I'm tired. That one, I've washed my hands of male
Okay.
gynecologists.
It is over, yes.
You
Thank
guys-
you.
Someone can ask you a question and you're like, what?
I'm telling you, they will ask you something and you ask yourself. For you, no, I posted my news article because they put it out in the Daily Monitor. Now, me, I hadn't read it. I'm kind of overstimulated by this
I
entire
can
thing.
imagine.
So I've not really been. Whatever
Yeah.
they said, I just repost.
Yeah.
Like I don't really watch the videos and stuff. I'm
Yeah.
quite overstimulated by
Yeah.
this entire experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw somebody respond and said something about like, so the doctor, da, da, da. So I'm like, oh, what did the doctor say? Because they get a doctor's expert opinion. I read the doctor's excerpt and he's saying, for somebody to do tubal ligation in their 20s should not be allowed. For them to even consider that that's something that they should give her, that's even after like giving birth to 1 or 2 children, it's still not okay. We should wait, this and that. I hadn't read when I was posting
20s.
this. Yeah. So like when you're saying she's going to regret and all this stuff, that's not a medical opinion. As a doctor, you're supposed to be coming to, I'm a science enthusiast, so I know that that's literally bias.
Your opinion should be science driven.
Personal opinion. They ask for your medical opinion. Scientifically, what do you mean in my 20s I can't get?
Who asked you? Who are you?
But I did see that. And I was like, that's so insane. So this is what people are dealing with. Even on Twitter, if you remember, the doctors came out. She might regret. I have
but
never
like that guy in the US. I was like, let someone replied to that guy in the US, that doctor in the US. And they told him, for you just started practicing there in America. You don't know that your misogyny won't last there. Won't last there. I said, Musmama with ice. I said,
well, you think you will tell a white woman that and she will not have you fired? I was like, yes. You think you'll meet a Karen and she will leave you in there? You're
after saying such nonsense. But also as a doctor, like, why are you giving your personal opinion?
That's
like,
bias.
As a doctor, like, what are you saying she will regret? Unless it's a mental, like some kind of mental health doctor, and you can like, why, like, your only thing should be maybe that's a dangerous procedure. You have no business commenting your personal opinion.
And that's what I loved about my doctor. You see, at first I'd gone to tie my tubes because tying has reversal thingy options. And then she told me, okay, if we're going to do this, then you're going to have to cut your tubes.
Oh,
why? Because tubal ligation, you're at a very high risk of getting an ectopic pregnancy. An ectopic pregnancy is killed. Once it busts,
if you tie,
honey, you have that day to get that checked out, and it's very painful. No one desires that. That is a medical opinion. Because remember, cutting my tubes is permanent.
Yes.
As opposed to what? Tying my tubes. Tying my tubes is also, it's that chances of reversal. It doesn't mean you will get reversal.
Actually.
But like, she could have said, but no, since that's the option that is the more permanent one, you shouldn't do it. No. She gave her medical opinion. So then we have to do the other one. I said, sister, whatever says no kids. Sign me up.
You guys, our team is about to fire us at this point. They are going to be like, the talent just is too much. They are just yappers. we need to get you to come back, and we keep keep this KB going. But thank you so much for coming. We know your Insta, what? You're viral now. You're famous. But you're the birthday. But you made time, to come, and we're so glad you came through, and we're willing to have the conversation.
It was so fun to like have this conversation. I remember the first thingy I saw, like the first video I saw of yours. There's another, I think I tagged you in it.
You sent it to me immediately that morning.
Not even that one, not even this one. There's another one like a while back. I think it was sometime last year, and you were talking about I think you were talking about the patriarchy as well, and how like when you're talking about the patriarchy, you're talking to men and stuff like that. And I tagged you in it. And then we were having a conversation in the comments, and like the comments were so crazy. So when I saw your video talking about you, I was like, okay. I like this. I like this. So it's like, it's really cool to like have you here, because to be honest, like it's very like I haven't met women that like we can have conversations like this with. So it's really, honestly, so it's really, really cool, especially you being so young. I'm like, oh my God.
These are things that we were just
opening at that point. You're like embarrassed to say you're a feminist. You're like,
we used to be in feminism.
Like you're light feminism. Light feminism. You can't really say it out loud. Like to see you now, like just make your decision, and like the conviction that you have is just, it's so great, man. Thanks for making that time.
Thank you so much for having me. I am definitely a serious subscriber of this podcast right now, and indeed, it's not therapy, but
it might help.
Oh, guys, I'm still glad. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. See you next week.